Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing a video all about macros, all of the information that I know I apply to my own life, nutrition on a daily basis. I want to share with you. I get so many questions about this. How do I calculate my macros? What does that even mean? I am here to answer all of those questions for you, or hopefully I'm going to do my best to answer all of those questions for you. Before we get started, I just want to make a quick disclaimer. I am not a registered dietitian. I have no certification in this. This is what I have learned throughout the years based on books I've read, videos I've watched, articles that I've read, applying these things into my own life, learning how to do this for myself. I just want to throw that out there before people come at me. I'm trying to do this to help you guys, but I want you to know that this is not anything that I've had training on more than the information I have sought out to learn myself. I have got my cup of coffee and my reusable straw. The Christmas tree is lit. It's a good day. Let's jump right in. So to get started, we're going to talk a little bit about what is a macro, what are macros. There are 3 different things that make up every food that we eat, and we call those our macronutrients, which is where the word macros come from, and those are your carbs, proteins, and fats. I have some Cheerios here with me and some peanut butter to show you how to read these on labels. So right here we have a Cheerios box, and it gives us our calories, our fat, our carbs, and our protein. All food labels have this. You can read it on the side of any box, and if you can't find it on the box for whatever reason, 1, I'm pretty sure that's illegal, and 2, you can definitely look it up online. We have our peanut butter. So here we can see that the fat calorie content, or the fat content of this, is much higher than that of the Cheerios. So I just wanted to clear that up, show you how to read those off labels. Next, we're going to talk about macronutrients, how they differ, how they're the same. So like I said, all of your food is made up of those 3 things. To start out, let's talk about fats, because I think that they get a really bad rep, and I just want to clear this up. You need fat in your diet to function. Your organs literally cannot function if you do not have fat in your diet. So please stop thinking that fat, like the fat macro, is what makes you fat. An excess of calories is what makes you fat. It could come from carbs, it could come from protein, it could come from fats. It doesn't matter. An excess of calories is what is causing you to gain weight, not an excess of one or the other macronutrient. So now that that is cleared up, of the 3 macronutrients, 2 of them have the same calorie count and 1 is different. So fats have 9 calories per gram, which is why things that are higher in fat tend to be higher in calorie. And proteins and carbs both have 4 calories per 1 gram. If you do the math of that on each label, it will add up to the amount of calories. Next, I want to talk about why should you track macros? Why do I track my macros? What is the benefit of it? Basically, in my opinion, and why I recommend people try to track their macros, is it's super easy to set certain numbers for yourself that you can hit within your daily food intake, and it will help you reach your goals in a more efficient and accurate way. You can always just count your calories, but counting your macros really helps you reach your goals quickly, because you're providing your body with the exact amount of each macronutrient that it needs to build muscle, to lose weight, to gain weight, whatever your goals may be. You can count macros to get there. The next thing that I want to talk about, and I think it's super important that I put this out there, because I don't think that everyone should track macros for their whole entire life, but I do think that tracking your macros is an amazing tool, and I think that everybody should at least try it, attempt it, learn how to do it, to learn portion control, to learn how to read your labels, and how to properly fuel your body to reach your goals and to continue to make progress as you're training super hard in the gym. You want your nutrition to reflect that. I think it's really important that everybody at least understand the concept of macronutrients, how to track them, how to calculate them. And I don't think it's a healthy thing for everyone to do 24/7, but I think it's a really great thing to know how to do, so you can be more mindful when you are deciding what you want to eat or portioning out your food. So if you have never tracked your macros before, you don't know what you're doing, I highly, highly, highly suggest getting on your phone, Apple, Android, whatever. If you don't have a smartphone, you can do this on your computer, whatever. Download the app MyFitnessPal. And it can be a little bit overwhelming at first. Super easy. You can literally scan the labels. It's super easy to track your food through this app. There are plenty of ones out there. I've used MyFitnessPal since before I can remember. It is my ride or die. Love that app. Never have it off my phone. So once you have the app downloaded on your phone, you're going to open it up. Okay, so once you have got MyFitnessPal up, you are going to click this little plus button at the bottom, and you're going to have a little rainbow of options show up. Click on food. I'm going to select breakfast because I'm tracking Cheerios. And let's get this to focus. If you click this tiny little barcode right up here, what you're going to do is find the barcode on your food. Let MyFitnessPal focus. It's going to search and it will pull up all of the nutrition information that is on your label. You click this little check mark right up here. This is so much harder to do in a viewfinder than you would think. And yeah, you've got your food tracked for the day. So as you're tracking, if you want to check during the day, this is what I do. Scroll down to the bottom, click on nutrition, and it will give you a little breakdown of your calories for the day, what you've already eaten, and etc. And I haven't put in any of my food for the day, so all this is showing me is the Cheerios that I just tracked. Okay, now for the fun part and what you guys are all here for, I'm sure, and that is how to calculate your own macros. And basically it is just one big math problem, super easy, nothing to get overwhelmed about. I'm going to be using myself for this situation, but you obviously just input your own information for your body weight, activity levels, all that jazz. Super simple, and I really hope that this helps you guys. So our first step is to determine how many calories we should be eating in a day. To do this, we're going to take our body weight and consider our activity levels. So I haven't weighed myself in a while, but I'm around 150 pounds. So you're going to take 150 pounds and multiply it by a range of 14 to 16. In this range, we're determining our activity level. 14 would be less active. Say you have a sedentary job, you work out 4 days a week, you're going to pick 14, or if you're like me and you're a college student, you're walking around, you're getting over 10,000 steps a day in, you're working out 6 days a week, I would pick 16. If you're somewhere in the middle, go with 15. So like I said, I'm gonna do 16. Let me grab my phone so I can do this math. And we have 150 times 16. And that gives us 2,400 calories. So this initial number that you're calculating is your maintenance calories, or right around. And from here, we are going to decide if we are cutting or bulking. If you're cutting, you're going to subtract calories. If you're bulking, you're going to be adding calories. So when you're doing this, you want to start out small, because as time goes on, you're going to have to increase your surplus or deficit to continue to see results. So if you're cutting, I recommend subtracting no more than 200 calories to start. If you're bulking, I recommend adding anywhere from 200 to 300 calories to start. So I'm going to add 200 to this. So we're going to go 2,400 plus 200 calories to bulk gives us 2,600 calories. This is how many calories I should be eating every day if I want to start bulking. And as I will explain later in this video, as time goes on, you want to increase your surplus as you're seeing results to continue to gain weight and continue to bulk. So now that we have our calories, we're going to move on to protein. And for protein, we're going to take our body weight, 150 pounds, and you're going to multiply it by anywhere from 0.8 to 1.1. Same thing here, we have a range because it differs for each person. If you're a little bit less lean, you don't have so much muscle mass, you're going to go with 0.8 because you don't need as much protein to maintain or build muscle. If you have a lot of muscle mass, you're pretty lean, you're going to want to choose a number higher in this range. I personally stick to about 1 gram per body weight, or 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight. So I'm going to do 150 times 1 gram, and that will give me 150 grams of protein. So that is going to be my protein intake for the day. Then we're going to move down here to fats, and you're going to take your body weight again, and you're going to multiply it anywhere in this range, 0.35 to 0.45. So you want your fats to be anywhere from 35% to 45% of your body weight. I'm going to pick somewhere in the middle and go with 0.4. So we're going to do 150 times 0.4. 150 times 0.4. That gives me 60 grams of fat for the day. So between these two, that's how we're going to figure out our carbs. So we're going to come over here and do 150 grams of protein times 4 calories per gram, which we talked about earlier, That's gonna give me 600 calories, and we're gonna do 60 times 9, gonna give me 540 calories. We're gonna add those two together. That's gonna give us 1,140 calories we have coming from the two of these macros. So in order to find our carbs, we're going to take our initial amount of calories and subtract how many we are already eating between these two. Okay, so I dropped this down a little bit just so you can see what I'm doing, finishing up my carbs here. So like I said, we have already taken this many calories out of our day between our protein and our fat. So we're gonna take our initial amount, 2,600 calories, and subtract 1,140. So that is going to give us 1,460 calories left we have to eat to fulfill this amount. And then we're going to divide that by 4 because there are 4 calories per gram of carb. That's going to give us 365 grams of carb. Okay, so that's how you calculate your macros. So in my case, if I were initially starting off my bulk, this is how I set my macros up. I started at about 2,600 calories, eating 150 grams of protein, 60 grams of fat, and 365 grams of carbs. And now I'm going to help you guys learn how to adjust this as time goes on, as you're seeing progress, as you're building muscle, or as you're losing fat. I just wanted to wrap this up and talk to you guys a little bit about what to do once you've set your macros, you're starting to see progress. Then what? You obviously need to continue to adjust as your body makes progress. So if you are cutting, you're trying to track your macros while you're cutting, you want to gradually increase your deficit over time. And you need to be careful about it because you don't want to drop your calories too low. That can really screw up your metabolism. My biggest recommendation when you're trying to increase your deficit or your calories in versus calories out, you want your calories burned to be more than what you are consuming. So I try to increase my caloric expenditure, or how many calories I'm burning every day, by adding cardio, HIIT, increasing your NEAT, which is your non-exercise activity, basically is what that stands for. I can't remember off the top of my head exactly what the acronym stands for, but essentially that means like what you're doing throughout the day, whether it's walking your dog, making dinner, blah blah blah. You just want to increase your daily activities to increase your caloric expenditure rather than cutting your calories too low. My recommendation is eat as much food as you can and increase your activity levels if you're attempting to cut. As far as a bulk goes, kind of the opposite. You want to continually increase your calories over time as your body is gaining mass. As far as a bulk goes, what I am doing is increasing my calories by about 100 each week, given that I am making the progress that I want. So if you are kind of stagnant, not seeing results, keep your macros there for a while, let your body adjust, see what happens. You can always go back and change it. Nothing is set in stone. You can adjust your macros on a daily basis. I don't recommend doing that, but if you feel the need to, you can. As time goes on, you want to make sure that you're increasing your calories. So when you're increasing your calories, what macro is that coming from? In my experience and what I recommend doing if you are bulking, continually add carbs, because if your goal is to increase your muscle mass, your body and your muscles need carbs to develop and grow. So when I continually increase my calories, I generally keep my protein about the same unless I have put on a significant amount of lean mass. My protein pretty much stays the same whether I'm cutting or bulking. But as I am bulking, I want to be adding more carbs into my macros because I want my muscles to be growing more and more. So when you add about 100 calories a week, I would say the majority of them come from carbs, and every now and then you can increase your fat macros as well. As far as when you're cutting, if you are going to subtract calories, I also recommend those coming from your carbs and fats. You want to keep your protein generally the same as long as you are trying to maintain muscle mass that you have. So that about wraps it up for everything that I was trying to cover in this video. I hope that I made all of this macro nonsense seem a little less intimidating to you guys, and I hope I helped some of you figure out how to count your calories and your macros for yourselves. I get this question all the time, so I thought it'd be super great if I could just make a video about it and get everything out there, all the information that you guys need to get started. I hope this video was helpful to at least one person out there watching this. If so, I have done my job. I feel accomplished, and I hope to see you guys in the next video.